All right, welcome back inside our proactive newsroom. Joining me now from our OTC studios in New York City is Timothy Morrison. He's the executive chairman of Trigg Minerals. And Timothy, it's good to see you. How are you?
Hi, Steve. I'm really good. I'm really
Good.
good.
Good to have you along. Excited to learn a bit more about what's happening. I know you made an acquisition recently, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But give me a bit of background on the company.
So Trigg Minerals is ASX listed company and now listed on the OTCQB as of a couple of weeks ago. We were busy last year acquiring a portfolio of assets in New South Wales, Australia. And these are exciting antimony assets. So our flagship project is the Achilles project, which contains the Wildcattle Creek deposit, which is a 1.5 million tonne, 2% antimony deposit. That's an advanced exploration play. And then within or around that region, the New South Wales region, we have a number of other assets that make a really, really interesting portfolio. I think globally we're unique as a antimony pure play, and we're getting a lot of very positive feedback up here in the US.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about antimony, as you say. Tell me a bit about this metal, because a lot of people are like, "What is this?" But
Yep.
boy, is it ever needed around the world.
Yeah, it's an incredible mineral. It has a couple of features that make it ubiquitous in use. So it's a very poor conductor of heat, poor conductor of electricity, and a very hard, brittle metal. And so that means it can be used in a multiplicity of applications. So it's used in critical applications, in solar panels, in semiconductors. It's used in strategic applications, really a military metal, as a hardening agent for a number of military applications. But it's also used in some high-end military applications, so night vision goggles, jet fighter helmets. And then finally, it has this sort of broad industrial application as a fire retardant. So it's mixed into a number of commercial construction materials to limit the impact of fire. So that makes it quite a unique mineral. The ubiquity of use means that there are demand drivers for antimony from a multiplicity of sources.
Yeah, and that's the key to it. And it's from a jurisdiction that is safe and that people know very well. And that's something that's important to talk about here is everyone's looking for a certain area to harvest these minerals from.
Right. So we're based in New South Wales, Australia. Australia is a great partner of the US. It's a Western ally. And the majority of antimony material and processing comes from China or China and Russia allied parties. So we're a Western source of antimony at a time when the traditional supply of the product has been deeply fractured. The Chinese government put a ban on exports of antimony products to the US late last year, and that has had a huge impact on the availability of the material for Western use in military applications and other high-end applications. And we've seen consequently a dramatic increase in the antimony price on the global index pricing. It's currently trading at around 50,000 US a ton, which is a dramatic increase, almost a 5x on literally last year's price.
Timothy, is that why it was so important you're as I mentioned, at the OTC studios in New York City? Is that why it was so important to get the stock trading in the US and really see some investment from the United States?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is this metal itself is globally important, and as an Australian advanced exploration play, we have ambitions to develop the asset. We're looking to large capital markets, sophisticated investors who understand the broad context, the macro drivers for this story, and have the ability to support us through the development ambitions that we have. So coming up to the US is always a strategic ambition of ours. And the feedback I've had over the last couple of weeks up here has been overwhelming levels of interest. And I think the OTCQB is a really nice piece of architecture for us to access those markets.
Yeah. And lastly, a lot of work plan scheduled for this year?
Yep. We're drilling, drill baby drill, as someone great once said. So we are currently in the planning process for a drilling program. that drilling program is not a discovery program, that's an expansion program. So that's designed to expand our existing resource, and we have ambitions to really build that out as a globally significant resource. And that's all planned for later this year. So there's a number of value inflection points we think coming up, and lots of news flow.
Well, Timothy, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your trip to New York City, and safe flight back to Australia as well.
Awesome, Steve. Thanks for your time.
All right, there's Timothy Morrison. He is the executive chairman of Trigg Minerals.